Ahoy and welcome back once again to the channel. In today's video, I've got a couple of chronograph watches to show you. Well, actually, they're sort of GMT chronograph watches. These have been sent to me by Stephen, who set up a micro brand. He's based in Canada, and a few years ago, he set up a micro brand called Wayforth, and this is the first offering. This watch was first seen on Kickstarter earlier this year. It got funded and around 180 backers received their watches, and Stephen still has some watches remaining, so they're now available to buy on his website. I'll put a link to the website in my video description, and that reminds me, you will have seen the includes paid promotion icon in the top left hand corner at the start of the video. If you want to know exactly what that means for this particular video, head down to the video description. I detail it in there, and yeah, the link to the website is not an affiliate link, it's just going to take you over to the website. Now, these are limited edition watches. Stephen has no plans to make more of these once they've sold out. They're not numbered. There's no individual numbers on these watches. But once they're gone, they are gone. And there's 8 different colour versions available. And they look really, really good. That was the first thing that sort of entered my mind when I looked at the website, when I was invited to review these watches. I just thought, what a cracking looking chronograph. And yeah, it didn't occur to me initially that there is an additional crown on the left hand side of the watch, and that is to adjust the internal rotating bezel, which is a sort of 12-hour bezel. So this watch doubles as a GMT. That's pretty cool, isn't it? And Stephen's focus was really producing a sort of traveler's, explorer's watch, a watch that you could wear while you were on your adventures traveling around the world. So yeah, you can track a second time zone, but you've also got some additional functionality, decent water resistance. It's also available with, well, no, it's not available with. You can also buy a stainless steel bracelet to wear with this watch, which is pretty cool. I'll put some prices on the screen. Yeah, that reminds me, there is a sale until the 1st of January, $50 off. Plus, if you sign up to the newsletter, you'll get an extra 10% off of the discounted price, I suspect. So yeah, that's going to bring the price down to a much more reasonable level. These do feel like fairly premium micro brand chronographs. They look and feel beautifully made. The straps are stunning. Italian leather, handmade in Germany. Yeah, vegetable tanned leather straps. Yeah, these are not super cheap, affordable chronograph watches. Their movements, I haven't spoken about that, have I? VK64. It's a Seiko Mecha Quartz movement. Yay, we love Mecha Quartz movements because they're part quartz, so super accurate, parts mechanical, so there's a little bit of romance there. The downside to that particular movement, though, is that there's no running seconds hand unless you start the chronograph function. Yeah, there are other Mecha Quartz movements out there that do have a third sub-dial. The advantage of this movement, of course, is you get that beautiful balance on the dial. They're just much better looking watches, I think, when there's just 2 sub-dials as opposed to 3 sub-dials. But yeah, you don't get that running seconds complication. Sadly, I do like to see a running seconds hand. So the day-to-day price of these watches, and it's the same for all color versions, yeah, regardless of which one you like, you're going to pay the same, and it's $375 US normally. If you take them up on their offer of $50 off, and why wouldn't you? And if you sign up to their newsletter, which I strongly recommend because that gives you an extra 10% off, you can pick up the watch for under $300. And it looks like, yeah, they're offering their bracelet at a discounted price at the moment as well. I'm not completely convinced that this is the sort of watch that suits a stainless steel bracelet. I do prefer stainless steel bracelets over straps. Straps do wear out. It doesn't matter how good they are. If you wear a watch enough, the straps are going to get distressed and eventually need to be replaced. Stainless steel bracelets these days, they're solidly made, and this one is solidly made. It's going to last, isn't it? Yes, it's going to get a bit scratched up and a bit banged up, but it's, you know, recoverable. You can always have it refinished if you really, really want to. So I would always recommend picking up watches on stainless steel bracelets if they're available, and I would recommend picking up this bracelet for the money. It's a very nice bracelet, but yeah, chronographs, they do just look better on sort of vented racing sports straps like this, don't they? And these straps are very nice. The buckles are nice. The finishing matches the case. The case is actually a little bit more decorative than you would normally expect from a chronograph. Actually, you've got these twisted lugs, a mix of brushing and polishing. The transitions are good. I love that slim bezel. The tachymeter on the outside of that bezel is nice and slim. Proportionally, this watch looks great. The internal rotating bezel, really nice touch that. And I don't mind that additional crown at all, actually. I don't think it takes away from the look of this watch. And yeah, I just think it is a cracking looking chronograph. Lots of depth and detail on this dial. Another minor moan would be a single domed crystal. It's sapphire crystal with AR coating. I personally am just not wild about crystal distortion. I like to see through to the dial at tight angles nice and clearly. On certain watches, older watches, vintage watches, I think it looks good. I would have liked to have seen a piece of double domed sapphire crystal on this watch. But that's a personal thing. Decent water resistance with this watch, 100 meters, pull push crown and a screw down case back, of course. Do I need to say it? If you submerge this watch in water, don't be pushing buttons and rotating bezels and pulling out the crown. I know. Why would you? But anyway, yeah, given it's 100 meters of water resistance, technically you should be able to swim with this watch. I personally wouldn't know. Yeah, I think Stephen has designed a very nice, adventurous chronograph watch. There's lots of little details and touches on this watch that I like. Dual facet hands, applied indices. The bezel has a mix of brushing and polishing on it. So this really is, although it's an adventurous sort of chronograph, traveler, GMT watch, it's also very pretty, isn't it? So if you just want to wear it at home and to work and down the pub to see your mates, you can, and actually it wouldn't look out of place, would it? Love the colours he's offering as well. Yeah, he's got quite creative with some of the colours. I've been sent a sort of mustardy yellow one, and even this sort of more monochrome version has a splash of colour with the red hands and a little bit of red text on the dial. So yeah, a great first watch from Stephen and his Canadian micro brand. I'm looking forward to seeing what else he produces. I suspect all of his watches will have that sort of travelers, adventurers theme, which is very popular these days. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think of the watch and the video. And as always, a massive thank you from me to you for tuning in.